And when you first then came into this meeting, did you soon learn what the topic was?
Yes.
Okay. And were you confronted by someone?
Yes.
By whom?
Dr. Murray.
And what was the topic, or what was expressed to you by Conrad Murray at this meeting?
He was upset that I didn't allow Michael to rehearse the night before and that I sent him home. And he was upset that he said I should stop trying to be an amateur doctor and psychologist and be the director and allow Michael's health to him. And
those were the words of Conrad Murray?
As close as I can remember them, yes.
And let me back up for a minute. You said he was upset that you did not let Michael rehearse.
Right.
And did you respond to that?
I did. I said it wasn't my choice, even though I agreed with it entirely.
You agreed that Michael should not have rehearsed?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was Michael's request to sit out and watch the show, and I felt that was a far safer place for him to be.
Okay. But according to what Conrad Murray was relaying to you, this upset Conrad Murray? Well,
yes.
And then he told you words to the effect of, don't act like a doctor or amateur psychologist.
Yes.
Direct the show and leave Michael's health to me.
Yes.
How did you respond to that?
He also assured me, if I may, that Michael's...
The objection sustained. The last answer is stricken. Disregard it.
What was your question, please, sir?
Re-ask.
I'll re-ask. What did Conrad Murray, what did he assure you?
That Michael was physically and emotionally capable of handling all of his responsibilities for the show.
And how did you respond?
I was shocked.
Why?
Because Michael didn't appear to me to be physically or emotionally stable at that moment.
From that prior night?
Yeah.
What was Conrad Murray's general demeanor as he made these statements to you?
He was stern.
Were you defending yourself? Were you responding in kind, or?
Yes.
Okay. And how did Conrad Murray respond to that?
Well, I said to Michael, Michael, please tell the doctor that's not the way it went down. I didn't ask you not to perform, and I didn't send you home, that this was something that we agreed on together. And Michael said, yes, that's what happened.
Yes, agreeing with you?
Yes.
Okay. In Dr. Murray's presence?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened after that, if you recall?
Michael told me that he was ready to take the reins, that I should not be afraid, that he was perfectly capable of handling the responsibilities. He wanted to do it, wanted me to stay at his side, told me to believe in him. And I told him I loved him. I was concerned for his health and safety. He said, I know that. I said, that's the only reason why, I brought these things up, because I care about you and I don't want any ill harm to fall upon you. And he said, I'm fine, Kenny, I promise you. And he gave me a hug, and I left Carrollwood.
Okay. After hugging Michael?
Yes.
Following that meeting then of Saturday, June 20th, was the next rehearsal the Tuesday, June 23rd, 2009?
Yes.
Okay. So those days in between, that Sunday the 21st, Monday the 22nd, there's no rehearsal those days?
It was a load-in, I believe, to the Staples Center.
Okay. And of course, that same day, Saturday, there was no rehearsal that day as well?
Correct. I don't know if Michael rehearsed privately, but
Okay.
there wasn't a called rehearsal.
Okay.
Sometimes Michael rehearsed privately.
Going then to Tuesday, June 23rd, 2009, was Michael in the same condition he had been on Friday, June 19th?
No.
Okay. What was his demeanor? What was his condition on Tuesday, June 23rd?
He entered into rehearsal full of energy, full of desire to work, full of enthusiasm, and it was a different Michael.
The following day, which would be Wednesday, June 24th, did Michael show up for rehearsal that day?
He did.
And again, what was his demeanor, condition?
The same.
The same as the night prior?
Yes.
Okay. Involved?
Full participant in both rehearsals and other areas of production.
Going back for a moment to June 23rd, do you remember a production, Michael performing The Way You Make Me Feel?
Yes.
Okay. And then on June 24th was one of the rehearsal numbers, the Earth Song?
Yes.
Do you remember a conversation with Michael on June 24th, following the rehearsal, where he asked you if you were happy?
Yes.
Can you describe that conversation, please?
Yes. We had 2 very successful days at rehearsal, and Michael was feeling great, and he looked at me and he asked me if I was happy, and I said I was happy, and I asked him if he was happy, and he said he was very happy.
Do you recall him saying that he felt the dream or words to that effect?
Yes, he felt like we were accomplishing the dream. He saw it before him in those rehearsals.
Now, the following day, which would have been Thursday, June 25th, 2009, was there a particular illusion scheduled to take place that day?
Yes.
What was that, first of all?
It was the big illusion that happened in the production, and it transitioned Michael from one musical event to another musical event.
And how was that accomplished?
It was a, you mean like, what, can you be
Well,
clear?
what was the illusion?
The illusion, Michael was standing on a bed and these silk flames sort of obscured him, and when the silk flames came down, he vanished, and he would rise up on a cherry picker and float out over the audience.
Okay. And on Wednesday, June 24th, was the fact that this illusion was going to be utilized the following day, was that discussed between you and Michael?
Yes, it was.
Can you describe that, please?
Yes, he was very excited. He loved magic. He loved illusions. We always had them in the shows, and he was excited that the apparatus was arriving and that we were going into rehearsals for the illusion.
And how did the evening come to a close on Wednesday, June 24th, 2009? Where you said your goodbyes, or how did it come to a close between you and Michael?
Michael, as I said, was very happy. He asked me to thank everybody, to tell them that he loved them, the dancers, the singers, the band, the crew. I told him that I would have everything prepared for him the next day by the time he arrived at rehearsal, so he could step right into the illusion rehearsal. And I told him that I loved him, and he told me that he loved me more, and I gave him a big hug, and he left the building.
The next day, Mr. Ortega, did you respond to Staples Center on June 25th to begin work on the illusion and the rehearsal?
Yes, I did.
And at some point while you were at Staples Center, did you learn there was a very serious issue with Michael taking place?
Yes, I did.
How did you learn that?
Telephone call.
From whom?
Paul Gongaware.
And what did he tell you?
That an ambulance that had left Carrollwood, in fact, was carrying Michael Jackson, and that Michael was at the hospital, and that he was in with the doctors, and he would call me back when he knew more.
Was that Paul Gongaware or Randy
Yes,
Phillips?
Paul
That's-
Gongaware.
Paul Gongaware?
Yes,
And did you then get a subsequent call?
I did,
And from whom?
from Paul Gongaware.
And what did he tell you?
That we lost him.
And you learned,
Mr. Walker, at a convenient point, let me know for purposes of the mid-afternoon break.
and you learned through that phone call that Michael had been pronounced dead?
Yes.
What did you do at the Staples Center at that time?
It took a while for me to even feel my feet on the ground. And it was clear that everyone in the room was getting text messages and phone calls, and that the word had spread. And I called everyone to the floor, the entire company that was there, everyone from backstage, the entire cast. And we all joined in a circle, and I informed them of Michael's passing.
This is a good time to break, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take the mid-afternoon break. As always, please follow to the letter my orders regarding